Hello everyone and welcome to Shifting Gears and welcome a brand new segment here in the Indian market. These are coupe SUVs and this is the Citroen Basalt and this is going to rival the Tata Curve. Now this is a brand new segment which is shaping up here in the Indian market. There is nothing quite like it, and do you like it or do you dislike it? That is something that you have to let us know in the comments below. In this video, we are going to speak about the interior cabin, the space, the ergonomics, the features of this Citroen Basalt. We have another video where we have spoken about the exterior design of this vehicle, and we also have one more separate video where we speak about how good does this car feel from behind the wheel. We have another separate detailed drive review video of this Citroen Basalt in its turbo petrol automatic trim. So now is a good time to subscribe to the Shifting Gears channel and press that bell icon. So before we jump into the cabin, first I want to show you the boot space because that has really impressed me, and the boot space capacity is 470 liters. What I first want you to notice is that this has a very notchback kind of a design language tailgate opening. So check this out. Your tailgate opens up along with the rear windscreen. So very old school Skoda Octavia like, if you remember, or even the Hyundai Accent Viva if you remember. So check this out. This is how it opens up, and this is how 470 liters of boot space capacity looks like. We have plenty of bags. We have 3 to 4 backpacks. We have 2 cabin trolley bags. We have a duffel bag, and there is still plenty of room left if we had to carry more stuff here in the boot of this Citroen Basalt. Let me very quickly look at things. Yes, there is a cabin lamp. You have a white LED cabin lamp over here, and this parcel tray, if you think you want to carry extra stuff, you can remove this and place taller items over here. Have a look at this. You also have a luggage hook in the boot area to organize your luggage, and this is quite spacious. But what you will have to notice and keep in mind is that the loading bay area, the loading lip, is a little high. So check this out. You have to get your bag high up and then place it inside. So there is quite some depth over here. So that is something that you have to keep in mind if you have to, move heavy items in and out of this boot. But otherwise, in terms of space, I think this is fantastic for a car of this size and shape. Now I'm, pulling the tailgate like this because otherwise you have a handle over here, a grabbing point over here, which is recessed on the inside. It should have been this way, visible to your eyes, but it is over here. So this is quite an odd design language, but the French love to do something really odd, something really quirky. And when we speak of quirky, this is quite a different flavor in terms of body style and design here in the Indian market. So do you think the boot is spacious? Let us know in the comments below. Do you think the exterior design of this Citroen Basalt is good looking? Let us know in the comments below. And now let me jump in the cabin and tell you how good does it feel on the inside. Now let us speak about ingress and egress. So check this out. This is how wide the door opens. Not bad, isn't it? It opens up quite wide and it gives you a good area to access the cabin. First, let me jump in the back seat of this Citroen Basalt. The driver's seat is adjusted to my height, which is 5 feet 8 inches. I have been driving this car for over 20 kilometers already. So I have found a comfortable driving seat position for myself. Now, when I have to sit in the cabin behind my own driving seat position, check this out. It is not at all difficult and it is very easy to get in and out of the cabin of this Citroen Basalt. If you have elderly in your family, say for example your parents or your grandparents, they can very easily come close to the vehicle. They can rest on the seat bench and then get their feet inside. But when you want to get in and out, again the floor is a little recessed below, so you do have to make a conscious step in and out because this section also is a bit wide because you have this plastic cladding over here after the body panel of this vehicle. So this gap you have to manage with your feet. Now have a look at this. this is the amount of knee room that is available, and as you can notice, there is good foot room available too. I am really wearing chunky sneakers, chunky shoes, and even then I have space to slide my feet below the driver's seat. So this is a positive sign. This definitely looks and feels comfortable. Now have a look at this. This is very unique. You can adjust the under thigh support over here in this Citroen Basalt. No other vehicle has it, and now this feels fantastic. You can rest your legs, you can rest your thighs very nicely, and this gives you more comfort. This gives you more support so that you are more comfortable on a long drive over here in the back seat of this Citroen Basalt. And it is very easy to get it up and then get it down. So very thoughtful feature. No other brand has offered this in a mass market vehicle, and I quite like it. I think it makes a lot of sense, and what a brilliant piece of engineering, this little thing over here, which makes a huge difference in your ownership cycle. Now have a look at this front seat. You get a seat back pocket, and this is part leather, part fabric, so you have to keep that in mind. But the good thing is that the lower section is in that leatherette finish, so it is going to be easy to clean and wipe off if it gets dirty. But overall the color is on the lighter side, so this is going to be very difficult to maintain. Now let me get into that side of the seat and tell you, if you want to use this car as a chauffeur driven vehicle, is it going to be spacious or not? Now have a look at this front passenger seat. I have pushed it all the way forward. If you are going to be seated over here as the owner of this Citroen Basalt, if you are going to be driven around, if this is going to be your chauffeur driven vehicle, this is the amount of leg room that is available. Phenomenal foot room, very good leg room area, and it feels very spacious. It feels very nice, very airy too, thanks to the lighter shade of these interiors. You again have that adjustable under thigh support, which is going to give you more comfort, and this is just so cool. And in terms of space, this is brilliant. Check this out. With this under thigh support not adjusted, I still have good thigh support. So this is just more functional, but some people might actually not even need it. The under thigh support by default is also quite good. Now have a look at these headrests. Very uniquely styled headrests which offer you lateral support. So if you are taking a nap, this element over here is going to prevent your head from tilting a bit too much, so you won't have too much of a neck pain. So this also is a very thoughtful feature. But then this is a fabric piece. This can get stained and it might look dirty. This also should have been a leather or leatherette finish, but overall the headrest is styled quite nicely, and this is an adjustable headrest over here. Behind the front seat too, you have a seat back pocket. Then over here you have these AC vents, two AC vents, and you can turn it on and off. And below the AC vents you have two USB charging points as well. This console overall, this also is in a light shade. The floor is black, so that is going to be easy to maintain and clean. But the other elements, the lighter elements, they are so light that you will have to make an effort to keep it clean. On the door pad area, have a look at this. This is soft touch material. You have your power window control over here. You have a gloss black panel over here. You have a silver finish for your door opening lever. You have a bottle holder, and beyond the bottle holder, you have some storage space over here on the rear door of this Citroen Basalt. Now in the rear cabin you also have this armrest, and over here on this armrest you also have a smartphone holder. Quite nice, a very thoughtful feature. You have two cup holders, and here you have that leatherette finish over here on this section where you would rest your hand. But when you push this back, you also have this fabric section over here, and this pull handle, this grabbing point, this has that leatherette finish. So these are small little details which I am telling you, I am sure nobody else would. You have two adjustable headrests in the back seat of this Citroen Basalt. For the third passenger you have this small bump. I won't even call it a headrest, but nevertheless you still have it for someone short. For your kids, this might provide better comfort and also some safety in terms of whiplash injury. On the roof you will notice You have a cabin lamp, not of the LED type, a conventional bulb, and the plastic quality here is just about average. This car feels like it is built to a cost which it shouldn't have been, because if it is going to cost over $1 million, this is now not, acceptable. You have retractable grab handles. You have them on both the sides in the rear cabin, but you do not have a coat hook. So that also is a missing feature in the back seat of this Citroen Basalt. But overall, I think in terms of space, Citroen has nailed it. In terms of utility and comfort and this, unique feature, this is something that a lot of people will like. But what is your opinion about the rear cabin of this vehicle? Let us know in the comments below. Now let us jump in the front cabin and let me tell you everything about the driver's cockpit area and the features available with this car. Now again, to jump in the driver's seat, it is not too much of a struggle. This car is not too low. This driving seat is at its lowest setting, but it is still on the higher side. So again, if you have elderly family members who still love to drive, it is an easy car for them to access to. Check this out. They can easily get their feet out and then very easily get out of this vehicle. So this is not going to trouble them, their knees and their hips. So this is a good family vehicle. Check this out. Getting in the vehicle, not a problem at all. This is the amount of headroom that is available for my height of 5 feet 8 inches. The seat is at its lowest setting, and this armrest, it does slide, and if you don't want it, you can also push it back. But then when you push it back, you will open up this storage box over here, which is a little bit functional for sure. You can store some knickknacks over here, or maybe your coins and wallet. So let's now speak about the cabin, the color theme inside of this Citroen Basalt. Black and then this light ivory color. Now everything is hard plastic, no soft touch material over here. The steering wheel does have a leather wrap, and then over here on the door panels you have this soft touch material, this leatherette like material. But primarily most of your touch points are hard plastic over here inside this Citroen Basalt. Now have a look at this, the dashboard section. You have a nice wide screen, an infotainment screen over here on top of this center console area. Looks quite nice, and you have Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. You have wireless connectivity for Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. You will see some flickering, but that is because of the frame rates of the camera. But overall, the screen is good to look at. The touch response is also acceptable, and when you activate the reverse camera, this is how the feed looks like. You do not get any dynamic grid lines, so these are fixed grid lines to help you park your vehicle, and this is how your system looks, and it is not bad at all. The color theme is okay. The pixels which are seen, that could have been a little sharper. The screen resolution could have been a little sharper, but I think it is not too bad in my opinion. And in terms of functionality, this is okay. Have a look at the dashboard top section. Everything over here is relatively flat. You do have a recess, a cutout over here where you can place idles, your preference, or if you want to place something else over here, you have a flattish section over here, but then it is sloping towards the forward side a little bit. It is not completely flat, it is not tilted towards you, it is tilted away from you. The dashboard otherwise offers you a flat space, so you can maybe park your wallet or your purses over here. Everything is hard plastic, and it looks like it is going to last the distance. It won't really show any scratches. You have a textured panel over here on this dashboard mid pad. Have a look at how these AC vents really jut out from that dashboard section. It looks quite nice, and you can park your air fresheners over here. There are quite a few thoughtful elements in the cabin of this Citroen Basalt. You have this satin silver element over here. You can't really keep your smartphone over here because it won't really fit, but I don't know what use this is going to be. Smartphone placeholder over here. Lower down you have a wireless charger as well. So this again is good in terms of utility. You have two cup holders, then you have a USB charging point, and then you also have a 12-volt charging socket over here where you can again connect additional accessories. In the cabin now you have an automatic climate control. The buttons are easy to understand and operate. You don't really have to get your eyes off the wheel when you want to operate this console. The buttons are large in size, so easy to operate without even looking at it. This is your hazard lamp button, and then this cutout over here which you notice, this is for cable management. So this also is a very thoughtful touch. Now when you look at these AC vents over here in the center, you will notice that you can switch them off completely. Even over here you have these silver accents. You have those silver accents over here on these vents too. On the A pillar you will notice you have a tweeter, and this area does create a little bit of a blind spot. So this is something that you have to keep in mind when you bring home this brand new Citroen Basalt. For your rear view mirror functionality, you have a manual day-night adjustment. There is no electrochromic rear view mirror available, and there is no connected car tech which is available with this vehicle. Of course, smartphone and app enabled features will be available, but this doesn't really have an embedded SIM card, so no connected tech by default in this Citroen Basalt. On the roof area you again have this old school bulb like cabin lamp. Again, touch and feel is very poor or subpar. Over here on the passenger side you have a vanity mirror on this sunshade, no cover for that, and on the driver side you don't even have a ticket holder. So that is quite a miss. That is quite a huge miss, because you can't even save your parking tickets over here. So that should have been on offer. Now have a look at this steering wheel. You have a flat bottom steering wheel, leather wrapped, all black, double chevron chrome finished logo on the steering wheel, a very squarish cube like horn pad this steering wheel has. Buttons are really large, so they are very easy to operate, and then you will notice that is about it. There's nothing really fancy over here. These buttons over here are for your speedometer and for your MID. These buttons over here are for your infotainment, and everything is very easy to understand and operate. There are no paddle shifters over here on this automatic variant which you are driving. You do not get automatic headlamps with this Citroen Basalt, and you don't even get rain sensing wipers. So again, that is a telltale sign that this car is built to a cost. Now have a look at this digital speedometer cluster of this Citroen Basalt. So now have a look at this. So this is trip A which is seen right now, then trip B, this is for your TPMS. This is one layout of that display. Then you have another layout of this speedometer cluster, and then you have this minimalist theme too, and this is how it looks. So let me show you everything again. So A, trip B, TPMS, display 1, display 2, display 3. The display is quite nice in terms of the information that it offers you, and it is easy to read. Everything is nice and legible, but if you look at that display, it is quite small. It could have been a size larger so that it could have looked more premium, but nevertheless it is what it is. On the left hand side you will notice you have your fuel gauge. On the right hand side you have your temperature gauge. You have your distance to empty very clearly mentioned. You can notice that trip A is showing you the distance that you have driven, your average fuel economy, your average speed. You have your gear selected which is displayed to you over here, and then you have your digital speed readout as well. This little leaf which you notice over here, this vehicle doesn't really have any eco, normal or sport mode, but depending on your throttle input, this leaf will go green or it will change color and tell you that you are not in the most efficient driving zone, or the engine is under stress or not. You also have your ambient temperature which is shown to you at the extreme right. The display, like I mentioned, it looks good, but it could have been better. The resolution, the crispness, the sharpness could have been better, but it does give you all the necessary information, but it is just a little too small for my taste, for my preference, because then the highlight in the cabin is this infotainment screen and not really this very functional speedometer cluster unit. On the right hand side you will notice you have your ORVM controls. You have your window lock button over here, and you have a button for the engine start stop functionality too. And then here you have your headlamp leveler, which is again so old school that it doesn't deserve to be on offer on a car in 2024 and beyond. And this is your bonnet opening lever. Now this is a 2-pedal drive which we are driving today, and have a look at this. This is the amount of space that is available. You do get a dead pedal, and foot room over here is not too bad. I am really wearing big shoes and still I am having reasonable space in the footwell area as a driver of this Citroen Basalt. Now let us very quickly look at this tunnel console area. Again, in a light shade, you have a gloss black finish over here around this gear selector. As you can notice, this is your automatic variant and it is in P mode right now. R, N, D, and then when you push it to the left, now you have manual control over the engine and gearbox. So push it up to downshift, push it down to upshift, and then you can very simply just go back to the standard drive mode, and this is how the console looks. This doesn't really have any leather finish. It is a hard plastic unit. Doesn't really feel good to touch, but in terms of functionality it is okay, and I think it will also last the distance. It doesn't look like it is going to get dirty or it is going to just wear out very soon. Over here you have another small storage cubby hole. This also can be utilized for maybe keeping your coins or your car accessories. And then this armrest, like I showed you, it does slide forward and backward. So this is it in terms of space and utility. On the door pad you will notice that you have a bottle holder, and then the color theme includes ivory white or that light shade, whatever you would like to call it. You have gloss black, you have silver accents, and you of course have that plastic panel all around. And then on the inside you will notice that on the seat you have this leatherette kind of a material. This is not really contrast stitching, but it does stand out because of that lighter shade. You have fabric seats over here on the upper half, but this again, this adjustable headrest, this is going to get dirty because this fabric, it is going to get stained very soon, very easily in your ownership cycle. But this area, this will be easy to maintain. Little things do matter in your ownership cycle, and Citroen has paid attention to customer feedback. You finally have all 4 window controls on the driver door pad. You do get one touch down for the driver door, but it doesn't offer one touch up. So still convenient, but not completely up to the mark, but at least ergonomic. And finally, wrapping things up, have a look at this glove box. It is nice and deep, so check this out. I can put in my hand quite deep over here, but then it is very slim, so you can't really put in big items over here in this glove box section. So that is it. That is everything that you need to know about the interior cabin of this Citroen Basalt. Do you think this is a premium vehicle? Do you think that in 2024 this Citroen Basalt is ready to rival the likes of the Tata Curve, and the pricing is going to overlap with the likes of the Hyundai Creta too? Do you think this vehicle makes sense to you? Let us know in the comments below. Do check out the other videos which we have uploaded so that you can make an informed buying decision. It does have all the necessary features now right from the day of launch. That was a huge mistake which Citroen made with the C3 and C3 Aircross when they launched those products with some missing hygiene features. But the Citroen Basalt, it is offering you all the basics, and I think it does have some really strong selling points. Do not miss our drive review video because that is very important. See you soon. Always drive safe, always wear your seat belts and follow those speed limits.